Chapter 10 Future Echoes. As far as Dellie was concerned, as a fifth-dimensional being, time was a flexible concept. The arrow of time from order to chaos didn't really affect him, it just sort of happened, time was. To be honest, even if it did, he could simply wind it back and take another branch which didn't lead to the position he had previously got to and carry on where he left off. For him, wasting time was simply a case of doing something that led to no determinable outcome, meaning he'd have to do some more things in order to get to a determinable outcome. One such thing had been his search for the nexus point which was currently causing him problems, or more precisely causing the timelines he looked after problems. As with most problems once found, they can be dealt with, corrected, prevented from happening again, i.e. learned from. The problem with this problem was that it had not yet happened. It was in the future, not necessarily Dellie's future but definitely someone's future, and depending on what exactly happened, based on Sepulchre's dabbling with high-energy physics, it could affect everyone's future. Every time he had followed a ripple in the timelines, from an output, or an outcome trying to find the course it had taken back to its origin, it always ended up as a future event. With Sepulchre currently unable to carry out this type of activity, Dellie started to hypothesize that whomever was the eventual cause of this occurrence was more than likely unaware that they were about to acquire the means to potentially break spacetime. This led Dellie to one, and only one, conclusion: whoever was eventually going to cause this problem probably had no idea they were going to cause it. As far as they were concerned, they were just experimenting. Finding stuff out. Dellie thought it more like playing with fire than any genuine experiment could ever be described. As time went by, time for the universe at least, the more the timelines seemed to focus on Earth, number 371 to be precise, the fact they were converging meant the event was not that far away from happening either. The convergence of the timelines were in fact due to Bouncer and Graham and their rapidly advancing plans. The more they planned, the more the timelines converged at the inevitable nexus point Dellie was so worried about. While Dellie was getting closer to his solution, Barnaby had arrived at Sebastian's office to sweep it for electronic devices. "And you're sure you were being watched, Sebastian?" asked Barnaby. "Well, not sure, of course I'm not sure, it was a hunch, but I could feel the hairs on the back of my neck reacting to something," replied Sebastian. Barnaby smiled as he remembered the many occasions where his gut feeling had outperformed plenty of supersensitive electronic devices and alerted him to being observed, listened to, or even, in the worst of cases, caught bang center in an assassin's laser sight. "I know what you mean, Sebastian, if you can't trust your gut, hey." Barnaby unpacked his equipment and started to scan the room. Nearly all of it worked by detecting energy from the electromagnetic spectrum, radio transmissions, the energy fields around power packs, even the movement of electrons and microprocessors. As he swept the room, walls and eventually the ceiling, the meter on one device started to move. "You've found something?" asked Sebastian. "I'm not sure," replied Barnaby. "There seems to be an energy signature, or rather a shadow of some kind right there." Barnaby pointed the index finger on his free hand to the exact spot the portal that had caused the problem had been. "If I didn't know any better, Barnaby, I would have said that is exactly where I thought I was being watched from. What do you think it could be?" "I'm not sure, Sebastian, but I am going to find out."